What's going on, guys? My name is Sean, and this is my very own Blockbuster. So today I thought I would talk about 25 super nostalgic films for me. These are all films that I grew up with. I actually also have 3 honorable mentions, so in total that's 28 stuff to talk about. So without further ado, the first honorable mention will be the original Jurassic Park trilogy. The first one I actually remember watching when I was really little, but I actually forgot most about most of the movie until I was a teenager, I think, when I rewatched it. But the sequel, The Lost World, as well as Jurassic Park 3, I remember watching as a kid and being terrified, especially of the pterodactyls in Jurassic Park 3. That scared the hell out of me. So the original Jurassic Park trilogy is the first honorable mention. The second honorable mention is Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Now, I grew up with this movie as well as the TV show. The TV show has always been a favorite of mine and my brother's. We would watch it almost every night. Absolutely loved it. But the movie is really good too. You got Christy Swanson in the title role, Luke Perry, R.I.P., Donald Sutherland, R.I.P., Paul Rubens, R.I.P. He's in this too. So yeah, a great 90s horror comedy action film. So if you haven't checked out the original film that the show was based on, can't recommend this one enough. I just have the DVD here, but great movie. And the last honorable mention, I have an extremely goofy movie. Now, I actually grew up with this one, not the original. Sorry, I grew up with the original too, but I would just catch it on our local family channel, which is what the Disney Channel is in Canada. Shout out to all my Canadian movie fans. But an extremely goofy movie was the one that we owned on VHS. Now I have the DVD here, but this is the one we would watch more often. I always loved the disco scene. If you know, you know. And yeah, this is the one that I loved growing up, and this is my third and final honorable mention for you guys. So to kick off these 25 nostalgic films, I'm actually going to start with the very first movie I saw in the theater. So 1999's Tarzan. I remember seeing this in the theater. I remember the big screen and the popcorn and everything about that memory is just, I hold near and dear in my heart. Phil Collins' music in this is unbelievable. The animation, God, I miss Disney 2D hand-drawn animation so much, and this is one of they peaked with Tarzan when it comes to animation. So Tarzan, I'm sure most of you have seen this, and if you haven't, check it out. I absolutely love this movie. Next up, I have another movie I remember seeing in the theater, Finding Nemo. Our mom took us to see this twice, actually. Such a nostalgic movie for me. I love every minute of it. The animation is amazing. The characters are funny and well written. The voice acting's great. Yeah, can't recommend Finding Nemo enough. One of my favorite Pixar movies, and yeah, just super nostalgic for me. Next up, I have some Scooby-Doo. To be specific, the Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island has always been one of my favorite movies as a kid. I would watch it every Halloween season. It used to play on, I think, Teletoon. Again, I'm Canadian, so that was the channel we had. I think that was the equivalent of Cartoon Network. So, but yeah, the Alien Invaders was also good. I actually remember owning the Alien Invaders on VHS. So, the 90s WB Scooby-Doo era is something that I hold near and dear to my heart. My brother and I would watch it all the time, and yeah, I can't recommend these enough. If you haven't seen them, show them to your kids if they're kind of into horror but not too much yet. They should definitely check these out. And next I have another super nostalgic VHS that we used to have. It's Lilo and Stitch. Now this is the 4K, as you can see, but I remember getting the VHS of this for my, I think, 8th birthday I don't remember who gave it to me, but shout out whoever did, because I fell in love with this movie. I did not check this out in the theater, but I don't believe so anyway. But I do remember owning the VHS and watching it all the time. Yeah, one that my brother and I still quote to this day. My wife absolutely loves this movie, so I hold this one near and dear to my heart. So Lilo and Stitch, far better than the new live action Disney one that we won't talk about. Next we have Toy Story. Now, I could go with either Toy Story or Toy Story 2. I'm showing the first one, but both super nostalgic for me. I had both of them on VHS growing up. The first one, it looks a little more clunky than I remember growing up, but yeah, Toy Story, absolutely love this one. Sorry about that, guys. I am back here. Normally I don't cut, but I had to there for a minute. So anyway, yeah, Toy Story 1 and 2, amazing. And I just love those movies. So good. Toy Story 2 is actually probably my favorite of the entire franchise, not gonna lie. So yeah. Next up, we have Shrek. Both Shrek 1 and Shrek 2 are super nostalgic for me. I remember owning the first one on VHS, and the sequel was one of the first DVDs I ever got for Christmas, whatever, you know what I mean. But yeah, the first one, amazing film. The animation holds up, the voice acting is hilarious. Lord Farquaad, one of the best villains in cinematic history, let's be honest. And next up we have the SpongeBob SquarePants movie. I loved SpongeBob, so did my brother. I remember going to the theater, I think it was for my birthday. We went to see this, and yeah, just so good. Love the road trip vibes of this movie. Everything about this was great. This was peak SpongeBob, and it hasn't been the same since this film. So I hear the 4K looks good. I haven't watched it yet, but yeah, SpongeBob, absolutely love it. Okay, next up, so that was all the animation stuff. So now we're gonna go into some live action films. We have The Outsiders. Absolutely love this movie. I remember reading the book in middle school, and then we watched the movie, and I've been in love with it ever since. Great 80s vibes. The acting is phenomenal. Francis Ford Coppola, one of the best directors in American cinema history. So The Outsiders is a fantastic watch, and it still holds up to this day. And next, we have another Ralph Macchio classic. We have The Karate Kid. Now, the first one in particular, I just absolutely adore. This is one of my favorite films ever made. My dad and I would watch this one on repeat on VHS, and yeah, lots of great memories with The Karate Kid. So if you haven't seen the original, I can't recommend it enough. I know there's lots of kids today who watch Cobra Kai, but they haven't seen the original, and that makes me a little sad, and it makes me feel old. So check out the original 1984 The Karate Kid, and the sequels honestly are pretty good too, especially The Karate Kid Part 2. Next up, we have Mrs. Doubtfire. This is a Robin Williams classic. It's probably his best performance, in my opinion. You got amazingly hilarious comedy as well as drama in this film. So Mrs. Doubtfire, such a good movie. Pierce Brosnan has a great performance in this as well. Sally Field, and the kids are so cute, and yeah, it's just a great movie for kids and adults. So check out Mrs. Doubtfire. Next up, I have Star Wars. Now, in particular, the original trilogy, I have so much nostalgia for. The prequels as well. I shouldn't say just the original trilogy. The prequels and the originals, I have a ton of nostalgia for. I saw the prequels in the theater. These ones, though, my aunt actually introduced me to Star Wars with the original trilogy. She once just brought my brother and I the original trilogy on VHS, and we fell in love with the franchise. Now, Disney has kind of wounded my liking to Star Wars quite a bit with what they're doing, the choices they're making. Not a fan, but I will always hold the original trilogy as well as the prequels in a special place in my heart, and it all started with this one right here, A New Hope, or back in the day it was just known as Star Wars. Next up, we have Titanic. Now, I remember I don't know how old I would have been, probably 9 or 10, and something about the ship itself fascinated me. Now, this was before I even saw the movie. The ship and the sinking of the Titanic. When I found out about it, it fascinated me, and I became an instant Titanicite or whatever that's called. Just absolutely loved the whole story behind that tragic moment in history. But then I saw the movie. I had my mom rent it for me from the public library, and I remember I was too scared to finish it the first time, but then I tried again and I watched it and I finished it and I loved it. And I remember I used to rent it from the library over and over again. I never owned it until the Blu-ray came out, I don't know, years and years later, and now I have the 4K here. But yeah, Titanic, one of the best romance films, one of the best looking made films ever. James Cameron is a genius, and I wish he would go back to different stories instead of Avatar, but that's a conversation for another day. Next up, we have E.T. E.T. is a phenomenal Steven Spielberg early 80s movie. Everything about this movie, the music, the design of E.T., the kids' performances. Drew Barrymore did a phenomenal job as little Gertie in here. And if this movie doesn't give you chills, I don't know what will. The ending is just amazing and great kids, family, sci-fi film. I'm sure most of you have seen that one by now. And then if we go into sci-fi in the completely different opposite direction, we have Alien. Now, this is probably a little weird for some of you that I grew up with this movie, but this I remember very, very distinctly. My friend and I went to his house for a sleepover, and his dad told us we could rent 2 movies, and we asked him if we could rent a rated R movie. Now, keep in mind, we were probably 8 years old at the time, maybe 9. And he said, yes, we can, as long as we don't tell our moms. So we rented Alien and Aliens. I love both now. At the time, this one was my favorite of the 2. It's kind of strange thinking back because the sequel had so much more action. But I don't know, something about the eerie vibes, the horror aspect of this one, I guess I preferred more. And I absolutely love this movie. I grew up with it, and it's phenomenal. Alien, again, another one I'm sure most of you have seen. Next up, we have a bit of an odd one. Not many of you have probably seen this. We have The Bear. Now, this is a French film. My grandfather introduced this one to my brother and I when we were little on VHS. I think he just had like a burnt copy of it, but he was never super into movies, my grandfather, so we could bond with him with this, I guess you could say, because this is one of the few films that he did like. The Bear, it's just fantastic. Absolutely love this movie. There's not a ton of dialogue, and when there is dialogue, it's French, but if you haven't checked it out, I can't recommend this one enough because it's not super well known, I don't think. Next, we have The Problem Child. This is another one that I grew up with on VHS. John Ritter's performance here is incredible, as well as the little boy, Michael Oliver, I think is his name. Phenomenal comedy film. Michael Richards from Seinfeld is in this, and it's just a great 90s comedy, and I can't recommend it enough. It's so well made. It's just peak comedy, honestly. Next, we have Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice is one that I would watch around the Halloween season every year. It used to play on YTV, and my brother and I would watch this one. This is Tim Burton at his best, Michael Keaton at his best. Some phenomenal performances here. Practical effects, Gina Davis, amazing stuff here. R.I.P. Catherine O'Hara. That was a phenomenal performance of hers. Speaking of Catherine O'Hara, I forgot to include Home Alone. Home Alone is one of the greatest movies ever made. Perfect Christmas movie, and, well, I forgot to include it here, but that's another super nostalgic one for me. Billy Madison, another comedy classic. the 90s. Absolutely love this one. Adam Sandler, peak Adam Sandler. Well, this is actually his first one, but you don't get better than late 90s, early 2000s Adam Sandler. He's not the same as he used to be, let's be honest, but absolutely love Billy Madison. Next up, we have Harry Potter. Now, the first three or four in particular are very nostalgic for me. I do enjoy the entire franchise, but I remember seeing, I think it was the first four in the theater. Then I kind of fell off of the franchise and then got back into it with the Deathly Hallows. But I absolutely love the Harry Potter franchise. And yeah, these are all super nostalgic for me. I could watch them any day of the week, to be honest. Then we're going back to Robin Williams with Jumanji. I absolutely love this film. Kirsten Dunst is in this as a little girl. Like I said, Robin Williams. Bonnie Wright is in this. Phenomenal, phenomenal film. If you grew up in the 90s and the early 2000s, I'm sure you've seen this one. The practical, not practical, the CGI effects don't really hold up anymore, but honestly, Jumanji is a great film. If you haven't seen it, check it out. Next, we have Batman Mask of the Phantasm. This movie is the first feature film from Batman the Animated Series. Like I was talking about with Scooby-Doo, the 90s WB era of animation was just incredible. And this Batman film is fantastic. The TV series I remember growing up with, and the movie is great too, so check that out. Then we have The Mighty Ducks. Now this is one that I grew up with as well. I used to watch this all the time on the Family Channel back in the day. Yeah, I absolutely loved the performances here of the kids. And Emilio Estevez was such a phenomenal choice in casting here. I could also talk about the sequels. They were just as good, but the original has a special place in my heart. And I am also a huge hockey fan, so that helps. Next, I have The Princess Bride. Now, this is what my brother and I call our sick movie. This is super nostalgic for us. Whenever we weren't feeling well, we would pop in The Princess Bride, and it would instantly make us feel better. He's always loved this movie. It took me a few viewings to really appreciate this one like him, but honestly, I'm so happy that he played it on repeat when he was sick, because I fell in love with this movie. Rob Reiner, R.I.P. This is a fantastic fantasy film and romance and comedy, and if you haven't seen it, I can't recommend it enough. Next, we have probably the first Jim Carrey movie I have ever seen, The Mask. Now, it's between this and The Grinch for the first one I've ever seen, but The Mask is one of my all-time favorite comedies. His performance here is fantastic. It makes me laugh every single time I watch it. I've seen this movie a million times, and I laugh still to this day every single time. Especially the conga scene with the cops. That just, it gets me. Cameron Diaz, her debut role. Phenomenal, phenomenal stuff here. If you haven't seen The Mask, check it out. And last but certainly not least, this is fitting, seeing as the new one comes out this weekend, we have Spider-Man. Now, in particular, the original trilogy is what I'm nostalgic for. I remember seeing all three of these in the theater with my brother. Phenomenal stuff, especially the first two of this. Just incredible. The performances, the casting of Tobey Maguire was insanely good at the time. Green Goblin, Willem Dafoe, Alfred Molina as Doc Ock, just amazing stuff. Sam Raimi did such a good job with this character, these characters, and yeah, I absolutely love the original Spider-Man trilogy. So that's it, guys. What are your thoughts? Those are my most nostalgic films that I picked. So minus Home Alone, I should have included that. But honestly, some great movies there that I can't recommend enough. And if you haven't seen any of those, please do yourself a favor and watch them. Yeah, I grew up in the late 90s, early 2000s. So all of those movies have a special place in my heart. So I want to thank you guys, and I will catch you guys next time. Bye-bye.